watching it for the draft, bro. You a coach.
Yeah,
bro. What
man.
you doing?
I don't know, man.
And when is the draft?
Thursday.
I didn't even know it was Thursday.
First round Thursday. Your players looking like, Coach, who we getting, cuz? Where is it?
Crazy part, bro, like, 3 months ago, like, truthfully, man, I was, like, burnt out. Like, man, I was kind of done with coaching high school. But now, we did some stuff last week, and now I'm starting to get that, okay, that itch. And so now I'm dissecting. So, bro, I've just been watching the spring ball scrimmages. So I watched Bama.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I watched Clemson, and I'm watching all these programs, Oklahoma, Texas, but I'm watching them in the sense of it's crazy, bro. So I'm watching and dissecting what they do offensively, defensively, but then I'm watching the coaches, how they coach and interact. Mm-hmm. So Nick Saban, bro, guess what Nick Saban had on, bro?
What do you got on?
Pink suit, bro. Pink. But the crazy part of Saban, though, is...
You can do whatever you want, bro. At this point.
You're right.
You get away with it. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing.
The crazy part, though, is, he's not calling no plays, though, so he's on the field.
Right.
But and he was getting interviewed. Kirk Herbstreit, Joey Galloway, and them was interviewing him, and it was hard for interviewing because he coaching cats up every single play. But then you watch the Clemson. Dabo was more Dabo. Mm-hmm. He was being himself. So I was just watching that piece, bro, like Saban. And I see why Saban is where he's at, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, spring game or not, bro.
CEO, bro. He got the people he puts in position, man, to not only do what they do for him, but they also springboard into other jobs. So, like, again, like, to see what, like, man, I need a Steve Sarkisian. I need a Lane Kiffin. I need all these guys. You know what? I could use a little bit of that sauce in my program. Mm-hmm. So I like his CEO mentality, man. Dabo as well. Like, Dabo got a good thing going.
Oh, yeah.
Venables, the D coordinator, you know what I mean? Till Justin Fields carved him up last year. Like, he was the man, you know what I'm saying? So, I see where you at with it. My thing, see, what's your coaching style, bro? You say you watch Dabo, you watching Saban, you watching...
Watch Jimbo Fisher. I watch Steve Sarkisian. A lot of his players were saying basically how he's how he love his players. Yeah. And I just like how all of them is creative in their own. They are who they are, and they are successful. Yeah. So I just try to watch the coaches and how they interact in the spring games, and of course watching formations and plays and stuff like that. But yeah, bro. So last week I wanted to jump off this. So last week, my wife, she wasn't feeling good, bro. But so my wife, she could take a lot of pain, bro. Like she don't go to the doctor. So she like, y'all, you and her, y'all got a high tolerance for pain. Me, if I'm feeling down. Call everybody. Call everybody. Call my mom, granny, kid. Call everybody. Come down. Yeah. So, I just started my job, whatever. So, she wasn't feeling. I was like, babe, we gotta go to the hospital. Mm-hmm. So she was telling me her chest was hurting, whatever. And I was like, I wish I would have took her on Saturday, but this is Monday. So, babe, let's go. No, go to work. So I'll go to work, and then something just told me in my spirit, man, you gotta go take your wife. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I get there. She's like, she's going to take herself. Mm-hmm. So she's getting herself dressed. She's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, babe, I don't care about that job. Mm-hmm. So we go, and her blood pressure high. Mm-hmm. They hurry up and get us in the back. You know what I mean? They, connecting, they checking everything. She's, was good, whatever. But it was crazy. The funniest part was, like, she was doing all that, like, babe, why you taking me? It was on me. Mm-hmm. And then she was in the bed, and then she looked at her, babe, thank you for taking me to the hospital. I was like, what? So after all that. So later, when she started to get back solid, a couple days later, we rewind that, man. We was just dying laughing, dog. But just stuff like that, just funny, man. You know what I mean?
That is funny.
You gotta make what's important.
Man, you can't figure them out.
No.
You try to do this, they say you know. You do this, then they're happy you did it. Yeah. Which one is it?
Which one? Right.
You have it.
Exactly.
Listen, everybody, man, we thank you guys for being with us today. Today's episode will be about don't despise your 9 to 5. We want to make sure that we let you guys know that working is honorable. And we're going to walk through and talk to you about a lot of things that got to do with just working, okay? And understanding how it can lead to so many other things in your life, whether it's you getting up, being on time, being prompt, managing your time responsibly, being effective while you are on the clock, and everything under the sun, guys. So we want you to know, don't despise your 9 to 5. We know sometimes that the world may try to push a narrative that, again, it's not cool to work, or guys that work is lame, or whatever the case may be. But we will be the first to tell you that, again, the life is much more at peace. You got to look over your shoulder because you're not out here living an illegal life, taking penitentiary chances. And so today we're going to unpack that, and we hoping all of you that go to work every day, that provide for your family every day, will just join in with us on this conversation about the fact that working is something that you all should take part in. Now listen, guys, we know the stimulus has been huge in terms of just, again, allowing people the support they need on one end, but for some it may breed complacency in terms of your lack of willingness to go back to work. You know what I'm saying? And so let's start there in terms of just unpacking this, and I don't care who jump us off, but
I'll go. I like to start with the stimulus. That's a good point. I would say the stimulus is only there to help. You know what I mean? Like, for me, so to say, like, I don't want any handouts. I don't want nothing for free. I'm not saying that the stimulus is a handout, because again, it is there for help for people that need it and things of that nature. But if you are receiving the stimulus, like, flip it. Do something positive with it. Do something that you've been waiting to get done. Do something around the house. Fix that light. Fix a couch. Fix a lamp.
pay a bill off.
Pay a bill off. You know what I mean? Make it a productive thing. So I would say, like with work, it's the same thing. Working is a way to be productive on a consistent basis, day in and day out.
I agree.
And look at the stimulus as a bonus. You know, when the stimulus first hit, you know, all the stores is packed. Walmart is packed. Buying new bikes, buying this, buying that. You blew it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Put that money up. You know, you and your spouse go on a vacation. You know what I mean? Your family vacation. And some of the things like you guys said. So,
and then use it to bridge the gap. Working also builds character.
Yes,
it's an understatement, but just getting up every day, going to work, that right there is a success in and of itself. But it's not enough to stop there. You need to get to work, be on time,
be a team player,
and then be a team player. Absolutely. You gotta know that it might be people that depend on you to do your job the right way so that they can do their job the right way. Everything comes full circle, but the character piece is huge about what working does for you. You know what I'm saying? Because again, everything starts with your ability to just be somewhere and be a part of something that's bigger than you. And when you do that, you are now working for the mission and vision of that company.
Correct.
Helping them achieve whatever the goal is of that company. Don't be the person that not carrying your weight. You want to be the person that, you know, if we look at you individually, we want to say you check all the boxes.
Correct.
Don't be that person you get pointed out. Don't be that person you getting written up for being late, because again, it's a character thing. You know what I'm saying? And so for those of you that's out there that's looking at this, that's watching this, do a quick reflection on how are you showing up each and every day. Are you on time? Can people rely on you? Are you dependable? Do you do what you say you're going to do? All of that is tied to character, but working in general helps build your character. What you guys think about that?
Oh, I love it, man. I think you hit all the points right on the head. Like, I would jump on the being consistent part of that, and the being the team player, like I said before. Along with the character, are you pulling your weight as a team player? Are you, again, showing up on time? Are you assisting others? It might be, somebody might fall short. Are you filling in the void? You know what I'm saying? Because again, like, you got to be able to push and pull.
Big.
You can't always do everything or feel like oh, I'm done. I did my task. I'm done. No. The whole task as a whole is not done. Like you said, we trying to complete the mission for the whole company, not just for me or
And
you.
are you even looking to see, okay, I did my piece, but is there something I can do to help this person get done faster?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Anything for you, CB, as it relates to character and the importance of just
being a team player, that's huge, man. You know, I work out of school, so today we was covering the cafeteria. And it's a total was 3 of us total. And 2 had to leave. You know, two had to leave, and then I had to orchestrate the whole lunchroom on my own. So usually, you know, that's a time where, you know, I'm talking to kids and different things of that nature, you know, and now I got to oversee the whole, so I make sure I stayed in the middle. When we completed it, when, you know, lunchtime's over with, what we do as a staff is we help our lunch ladies out, clean the tables, spray and clean the tables. You know, I had one particular lunch lady, she was doing, I was like, no, give me that. You worry about the food. You guys prepare the food for the next lunch. I got this table. So being a team player is huge. That's I think that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? And those are the things that I think that's highlighting that's needed being bold.
But that's your character, bro. That's your character stepping in for those ladies. That's like, you know what? I got you. You know what? You do enough for us. I'll step in. I'll stand in the gap.
And that's a perfect segue to the fact that working builds work ethic.
For sure.
And I'm going to tell you guys a quick story, man. Years ago, I worked third shift. And one thing that working in general, but working third shift specifically did for me, we call it the vampire life. And when everybody is asleep, you're up. But sometimes people marvel at the things we've accomplished over time. But all of those things was birthed through the night when everybody was asleep, but I'm just up working and thinking, building my work ethic, because then when you go out and start your own, you use that same work ethic that made you good on the job to build your own business. We often say don't work harder for somebody else, but you don't put that same amount of work in for your own self. You know what I'm saying? And so the work ethic that working a job gives you is a transferable skill that will lead to you being a better entrepreneur, being better with dealing with customers, being better with time management. And I used third shift to make me a beast. I was able to carve out the life that I wanted working third shift. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to despise working this job now. I'm going to make it so I never have to work third shift again over time, so that I can get a 9-to-5 job, not have to work weekends. And it was just a progression, because you know when you at entry level, you might get the weekend, you might get the horrible shifts.
Likely you're gonna start,
you know what I'm
off
saying? You're gonna start off on weekends. And so it was about working your way up the chain, something we're all familiar with, because we had to work our way up the depth chart. We had to work our way up various things, whether it was sports teams we were part of and things still like climbing. That. And we still climbing to this day. And so work ethic, speak to work ethic and the importance of that.
I think work ethic, man, is what sets you apart. Anybody can get up and go to work, but it's like, what do you do when you get there?
That's true.
Are you productive half the time? Are you productive your whole shift? You know what I'm saying? Are you showing up early? Are you nice to people when you get there? Can you work well in a team? Can you do more than what's asked of you? Okay, you can work well in this team, but can you work well with somebody else, or can you fulfill this task? Or I know me being a big guy, man, like for sure my work ethic is crazy. You know what I mean? I like to stack good days on top of each other every single day, every single week. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I try to play my part at work and do all the good things. But me being a big guy, I'm always getting pulled. Hey, could you help me move this copy machine? Hey, this refrigerator's old. Could you throw it out? Hey, could you? You gotta be flexible, bro. For real though, like little mini ones, you know what I'm saying? They call them the big dog. No, not industrial. No.
How has sports made you a better professional?
I would say just being consistent, man. I know, and like I said, like our athletic mentality is the last rep might not have been good enough, but the next one will be. The next one. It's like always that next day, the next thing I can do where I can be better. So I think that kind of sets me apart versus it's not hard for somebody to tell, hey, man, you didn't do that well on that one. It's like, okay, well, how do I do it right? So next time I got it We won't have no problem.
CB, how has sports made you a better professional?
Man, we could look at it so many angles. I could talk about from a work ethic standpoint. All right, in sports, we all competed.
Yeah.
Like one-on-one competition. So, for example, in my training yesterday, we got receivers versus DBs one-on-ones.
Yeah.
The first 5 to 10 minutes, it's good momentum, and then it's flatline. It's complacency. It's no one. It's like me versus you, bro. Like one-on-ones, dog. I'm not losing this, and if I did lose, I'm upset. The next one. So the competition behind it, the work ethic. So that I did lose, I'm watching film on myself, or I'm rewinding what I did wrong, and guess what? I need to do this better the next day, or the next rep. Like you said, the next rep. I'm gonna get you the next rep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that whole piece of it made us better, bro, from a competitive standpoint at work. And like you said, a work ethic standpoint, we had to work hard to get to where we had to get to on a sports standpoint, bro.
Yeah. It took hard work and no shortcuts.
No shortcuts, bro.
I'm a little biased, and so I would love for our viewers to chime in on this. I believe athletes are better in the workplace. I believe that athletes have a better work ethic than non-athletes. I could be wrong, and I'm okay, and I'm open for a discussion on that, but it's just my opinion and my bias. I often say, and you guys can attest to this, 5 a.m. workouts was the hardest thing ever you gonna do in life. And no job you work at will ever compare to a 5 a.m. workout when the strength and conditioning coach is trying to kill you. And so that statement that what they say, what don't kill you make you stronger, that became a reality. So when I became a W-2 employee, I'm looking like, man, working is a breeze compared to trying to be an elite level athlete.
Boy, all them 1640s out
1640s.
Bro. At 400, all that stuff, like,
man.
That's what I always think about it, man. My worst conditioning day, nothing in my job is going to be like that.
Yep,
bro.
exactly.
It's more of a mental challenge versus the physical.
Facts.
Exactly, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm with the mental all day. You know what I mean? Challenge me there. I'm straight on running the 400
That's
right now.
facts. Facts.
But like you said, bro, it's like if you think about what we went through as an athlete, like imagine doing that today. Like, bro, I'm like, man, I couldn't imagine doing 3 a days, like 2 a days and stuff like that in college. Waking up early in the morning, the field is wet. You got to do stretches on the field. Now all your pants is wet. You got saggy booty all practice.
Whole practice.
Whole practice.
You just got out here.
And you know, in Michigan, bro, we see all elements in the football season.
All 4 seasons out there.
Come on, man. Like literally. And then you talking about the 5 a.m. winter workouts, bro. Walking in the snow. Then we had to go in the ice arena, bro. So in the ice arena, we had to run on the stairs. And then the bleachers was so tight. So and I'm bow-legged. So you try to run in between the bleachers, it scrape the leg, bro. Like, literally, man, coaches yelling and screaming. 5 a.m. Like stuff like that, man. It prepares you in the
nothing in the work world is gonna be like that.
Nothing. And so that's why I knew I would excel and succeed in the workplace. And for the time I did, man, I felt like I did an okay job. The next thing we want to talk about is stop blaming and complaining and making excuses when you late or because you got pointed out. Everything is not your supervisor's fault. Everybody ain't hating on you. And that's something we got to talk about too as family, man. We got to unpack the fact that we got to be accountable for our actions and when something breaks down. We can't be looking and, oh, he out to get me. And that might be the case, and we're not negating that in any kind of way. But at some point, you want to set such a standard of excellence where you looking like can't nobody say nothing about my time card because I got to work on time. For those of you that worked that, I was a salary worker, so that was an issue for me. But I'm just speaking to where I believe more people can relate to. Getting pointed out, having to punch in, okay, things like that. At some point, you want to say, you know what, I'm going to be at work 10 minutes early so I know that I punch in on time. I'm not going to let myself get 1 point so that I'm never up against getting pointed out at all. These are all things that, again, builds character, something we talked about earlier, But if you can stop blaming, but look inward and just say to yourself, what could I have done better in this situation? How could I have avoided this situation altogether? What you guys think about that?
I love it, man. I would say to that, you have to first, it's either one of two things. You need to do a self-assessment and a self-evaluation. Both one and the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to really, like, what am I doing wrong? Especially, like, if you're late more than once, and if you got several points, you've been talked to already. So, okay, once you get that talking to, once you get that little discipline, whether it's a write-up or not, okay, I've been talked to. Now it's on you to change your course. Like, you know what? Self-accountability, self-evaluation. You know what? I have been late, but I'm not going to be late again. You know what I mean? You start, okay, tomorrow. Start with tomorrow. Okay, make your time tomorrow. Make it the next day. Make it the week. You know what I mean? Put a couple weeks in front of yourself.
Yeah.
You go from there.
And
But,
like what
you
you
got
said
to
earlier.
evaluate yourself. You have to start there.
The accountability is huge. And you guys hit it all right, man. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just talk about being in a workplace, but you have to do a certain job, but you don't have the experience to do that job. Or you might not have the education. So we have plenty of people that's in positions where they didn't go to school for this particular position in the workforce. Like for me, you know, I had to be a guidance counselor one time, a guidance counselor and a dean. Well, I went to school for a dean of students, but I ain't go for a guidance counselor. So I failed a lot. You know what I mean? I failed a lot. And one of those things is I remember I had to get some talking to as well too. But you know, it didn't do anything to me because of our upbringing in sports, man. Nothing was harder than what we went through and then the coaches we had. So it's just one of those things. It's like, man, and what he said is like, next time, you know, just be careful. Always pay attention to the job description. You know what I mean? And you know, I lived and I learned in that moment. And also, mentors, people. You got some people that's on the workforce that care about you too.
Yeah, that's big.
Take that. Take that mentors, take that education from them, listen to them, because they in your corner too.
Poor working relationships is what I want to talk about next, because you guys need to understand relationship equals resources.
Yes.
But relationships, listen, man, the whole American system is designed off of relationships. It's not what you know, it's who you know. I am a guy that has advanced degrees, and I can tell you, they help in some regards in terms of maybe me negotiating my salary, but everything about upward mobility was about relationships. So if you got poor relationships in the workplace, I don't talk to them, I ain't talking to these folks, you're not gonna never also be in the running for a promotion. You're not gonna have nobody to speak on your name in a positive light. Relationships matter, and having poor relationships in the workplace, that's a death sentence to your upward mobility inside the company you're currently at. And so I want to challenge you all to embrace, you ain't gotta be everybody's best friend at the job, but be likable. Be somebody that, even if you don't talk to everybody, their thought of you is that you're a cool person.
I love it, man. I think you have to have a well working situation at work, because you spend a lot of time there,
At
more
work.
time than at home.
You do.
You
That's
consistently at 40 hours
facts.
or better for the working adult. You know what I'm saying? At work. So I would say you got to make sure that you try to be positive, bring a positive light to the situation, and like you were saying, Chris, the relationships that you could build through your job, man, it's unmatched.
It's unmatched.
You can get, references. You can get friendships out of relationships. You can get
Networks.
all type of things. All type of networking.
They know somebody you don't know, but it might be a blessing
that
for
can
your
connect
situation.
you to them. Exactly, and you might do that same thing for them. So I would say be open minded to that, because you just one person away from getting everything done that you need to get done, and more than times not, you know, the people at work.
Absolutely. And like I say, man, that's the key to upward mobility. Yeah, you might be the best, you might be all of these things, but if nobody don't like you, nobody not gonna vouch for you in that room where the decisions are made, and you're gonna keep getting blocked. You're gonna keep wondering, man, why is my breakthrough not coming through? Why am I going through this? And this starts with relationships, and also getting fired, man. That's something that at some point you have to be above getting fired. You got to reach a certain age where, okay, in my younger years when I had teen jobs and I was working at McDonald's, Subway, but at some point you have to get to a point where I'm not getting terminated from a job at this age of my life or this stage of my life. At some point, that's a character issue in and of itself. If you are just going through job after job and it's because you're getting fired every single time, man, that says a lot about who you are at your core. And if people are terminating you, you got to look at the mirror. You can't look left, you can't look right, and you can't blame anybody else. And so again, let that be a challenge to yourself, that I'm not getting fired from my next job. I'm going to put in a 2-week notice because I found something else.
And fulfill it. Nothing wrong with that either. And also know that, like you said, those firings could just reflect negatively on your record.
On your future potential at other working opportunities.
Somebody knows somebody that you worked with, and you don't never want that to cross paths. You never want the negative to get out about you.
And so I think segueing from that, don't despise your 9 to 5. We're big on that, man. Embrace work. Know that work is honorable.
Yes.
But on the flip side, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. So don't get this thought that because Instagram make it look cool that you think it's something that just anybody can up and do. Okay? And that's the biggest misconception that I see as an entrepreneur, as a somewhat successful entrepreneur, in my regard, that the image that's put out there is that it's glitz and glamour. I probably work more as an entrepreneur than I did working a 9 to 5 and working those 40 hours a week, 80 hours every 2 weeks, because as an entrepreneur, everything is on you. Everything is on your shoulder. You got to do payroll. You got to come up with the next idea, the next business strategy. Everything you doing, healthcare. You're doing all the stuff that your employer would have been doing. Ain't no set hours. So that accountability piece comes into play. That work ethic comes into play. Are you going to get up every day and go to work? Are you going to keep being of service to others and make a difference in your life? Are you going to answer disgruntled customers' complaints and send out refunds and do all the things? Again, people don't keep it real about the hardships of entrepreneurship, and we're here today to tell you it ain't for everybody. Some of you guys need to be workers and be okay going to work. Okay, some of you need to be the help to the entrepreneur and know that that's okay, and you're not trying to start your own. You know what I'm saying? Be happy and get excited about seeing other people win, but make sure that in that you're not thinking that entrepreneurship is for everybody, because everybody ain't cut out for it, and it's okay. It's not a bad thing if you're not. You just need to walk in your purpose, stay in your lane, but blossom where you're at.
Yeah, I would touch on that too, man. Like, because I can relate with the workers. I've been a worker my whole life, and entrepreneurship, that's cool, but like you said, it ain't for everybody. I'm not gonna totally turn my eye to it, but I'm making my living being a worker, taking care of my family, making sure I'm doing the things and being consistent. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's a nice path to carve out for yourself.
And what I love about that, because I don't want to discourage entrepreneurship, but you might not be a full-on person that is running a full corporation, but you can have a side hustle.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
You can have, like, you got wide receiver secrets. You got all kind of ideas you're trying to birth, and you can do that, guys. Everything don't have to be a full-on entrepreneur. We got our camera guy with us, and he shoots videos. This one we are watching, basketball standouts that's coming through the ranks, side hustle. It may or may not turn into a full-on media empire, and he don't have to. He's good doing that, and that's what we're trying to say. Don't get the whole entrepreneurship message misconstrued. You know what I'm saying? Because there's side hustles, but if your side hustle just remain a hobby and a side hustle, that's cool. If it ever grows to something where you now hiring staff and bringing on a full team, you got 50 employees, or okay, that's the next level. But again, understand that it's not for everybody, but there's a place in it for you in terms of the gig economy and the whole having a side hustle is something you do that bring in a couple dollars on the side?
For sure.
Yeah, bro. The entrepreneur piece is like, be patient. Like, say if you do have a 9 to 5, you like it, and you have a passion, you want to do something else. Make sure your 9 to 5 is excellent. Make sure you meeting all the expectations. You understand everything that's going on in your job before you start your entrepreneurship or your side hustle that can be entrepreneur or whatever it is.
Right.
Because passion is everything. You know what I mean? You have to do what you love, bottom line. And for me, it's always been coaching. I want to coach high school football. That's always been a dream of mine, coaching high school football. And that's where my passion is at. You know what I mean? Evolves around football. Now, you know, before that, you know, I was a wide receiver trainer. Now I'm doing my whole full-fledged sleeper recruit training academy. I'm doing that. So, but that's a piece of football. You know what I mean? And that's my entrepreneurship or my side hustle or whatever it is. But that's the enjoyment fact I get off of that. But for those is, you know what I mean, if you want to do those things, make sure your job, number one, make sure your job is right. You're doing everything at your job and you're doing those things, and then just start off small.
Make the main thing the main thing.
And don't get caught up in the hype, you know, social media and stuff like that, and you know what I mean? If that becomes a disturbance, you know, shy away from it. You know what I mean? But you got to make sure your 9 to 5 is excellent, though.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Before you could do anything else.
Next, guys, we got our hot topic, and we want to remind you guys that the dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. We want to make sure that we encourage you guys as we dive into this hot topic that when it comes to your finances, building wealth, your 9 to 5 is also your first investor. I'm going to say that one more time. Your 9 to 5, the check you get every 2 weeks or every week or however your pay go out, that's your first investor. Yes, you might have some money trickling to the work 401k or whatever the work retirement system is, but separate from that, you all can open your own brokerage account and begin investing for your future. Okay, begin planning for retirement. I just call retirement, really, it's just a savings account for when I get older. It's just putting a different spin on it, okay? And so if you get in the habit of understanding that your 9 to 5 is how you're gonna fund your retirement, yeah, they might take out a couple dollars through your job, but you can be putting in far more depending on how you live. Pay your debt down, get your expenses low, live within your means, don't try to keep up with the Joneses. You do all those things, I can guarantee you'll be wealthy well before you're 65 and it's time to retire. Okay, and so again, use your 9 to 5, allow it to be your first investor.
I love it. Like you said, man, I never even, like I said, I started the workforce young, like 20. So I didn't really see the importance of, always contributed to my 403Bs, or I think that's what it is now.
Yeah, 403B.
But I never look at it as a, you know what I mean, that money just going away. It's just going away. I get a statement at the end of the year like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. But as you get older, it's like, okay, I want to contribute a little bit more. I can get to how much if I contribute? You know what I mean? So you just look at those charts, like if I want to contribute 17% to my own investment, that's what I try to do, just up my percentage so it's more going in every 2 weeks.
You talk about the poverty mindset, and I'm going to dive more into it too, but that in and of itself keeps people from living their best life, reaching financial prosperity, because like you said, it might have been something we didn't know about. We all have jobs where you might not even looked at the retirement package like that. What's the 403B? What's the 401k? What's the 457 plan? All these different things, because the poverty mindset don't even have you thinking. You just getting a check, what we call a living check to check. You know what I'm saying? And so many people do that, and it keeps them living in poverty or having the poverty mindset. Oh, I got some money, I gotta go spend it. You know what I'm saying? Like CB said, you can do something responsible with your stimulus, but the poverty mindset may say you gotta go buy a bottle, you gotta go buy some J's, you gotta go buy a Gucci belt. You have to do something frivolous with the money. Why is the poverty mindset so prevalent among communities of color?
I would say that it's a keeping up with each other type of thing. If if Chris down the street got some J's, I want some J's. Mm-hmm. If I didn't get them J's, I'm along for them J's. And whenever I get my money for them J's, you better believe I'm going to get me some J's. You know what I mean? So I could be in. But Chris ain't thinking about me wanting my J's. You know what I mean? Those might have been a gift to Chris. Or however Chris got those, that ain't my business.
Yeah.
But we look and see somebody with something, so we want it.
Yeah.
Not saying how they got it, how much work they put in, nothing. We just look at it like, man. So I'm trying to keep up with that. I want to beg, borrow, or steal to keep up with an image or a reflection that I think is cool, which more times than not leads us down the wrong path. Because again, we don't know what Chris did for that. He might have worked a 9 to 5 and earned all his money for those J's.
Work overtime.
We just don't, or worked overtime.
But that's a part of our culture, though. You think about it. We always gonna, for us, if you go to a game or an event, we gonna be fresh to death, from head to toe. We don't know what kind of car we live in. We don't know what kind of car we might have. Our clothes might be more expensive than our car. We might not even have our own home or apartment. So it's always, like you said, an image, and this is how we are as people. And that's just how it's been. It's always been like that for us.
It's only for the acknowledgement, though, CB. I see you, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see you.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean? That's all that. So you just spent all that money on an hour versus I see yous.
Yeah.
And then we're not taught in the school system about 401ks, 403b. So when we talked about the storm and going through the storm as people, when you grow up in poverty, that's what we grew up in poverty, living check to check. Okay, so you grow up and you gotta figure things out along the journey, and you have to educate yourself. It's crazy. I just looked at some of my retirement stuff now today. I looked at where I was retirement. This amount I'd be getting paid per month. You know what I mean? This is the percentage I was going. I knew the percentage taken out of my check. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at that stuff now, where before like you said, I knew certain amount was going out of it, but now I'm looking, this is the amount. I never looked at, this is the amount. If I decide to retire in education at 55, this is how much I'll be getting paid per month. You know what I mean? Now I'm looking into more of the, some of the things, we did it 401ks and all that stuff. So, just constantly have to educate yourself.
And you want to build upon what you already have. Like, you know what? Exactly. Okay, if I retire right now, that would be my plan. But no, I want to add more.
Add to it.
Because if I keep adding, but I don't get 55, my number's going to be here. But that's a mindset that everybody didn't have. Like, that's you growing out of that poverty mindset. That's you getting away from the norm.
And as y'all friend, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that you guys, it's never too late. And that's what I want everybody at home to know. It's never too late. He just looked at what he's getting. He glanced at it years ago. Now he know what the number is. Same here. My thing is the poverty mindset that I want to touch on is, and I'm looking for clarity and I'm seeking understanding. Because ownership is important to me. Ownership matters to me. I own my businesses, homes, cars, everything. But when people don't want to leave Section 8 because it will mess up their money, that's a poverty mindset that I want to explore and unpack more. Nope, I can't get a job because it'll mess up my Section 8. I can't make this much money because it'll mess up my Section 8 or my government assistance. And so, where do that come from?
Fear.
There we go. That's
it's
good.
Fear. It's fear, bro. It's like, okay, I can make this leap, but man, what if? What if? So, like you said, if you grown up in poverty, all you know is poverty, it's fear to take that extra leap. So now it ain't like, you know what I mean, or you got a spouse or you having somebody pulling you gonna be okay. Sometimes we doing this thing on our own, bro. So it's fear. You know what I mean? It's definitely fear.
I believe it could be some fear, but I also think it's
comfortable too.
That too, but I think it's being exposed. A lot of people, lack of exposure, I would say,
that's big,
would allow you to think that Section 8 is a goal. You know what I'm saying? Now, I would say Section 8 is there for anybody that needs it, for those emergency situations, single mom, single dad, whatever the situation may be, if you fit under those Section 8 guidelines, I'm all for you having that. But if you're an able-bodied worker, able-bodied person that's able to work, go out and work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go out and make you some money. Take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't just fall back on Section 8. You know what I mean? Let that be for somebody that actually needs it. Go out and get your money. Go out and create you a better life. You know what I'm saying? So, and with that, you're going to be exposed to different stuff.
That's
with
facts.
that job, you're going to be exposed to different people.
Exposure leads to expansion.
Fred Taylor.
Like our boys in I Am Athlete.
Fred Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
So for sure, you're going to get around some people that's going to show you some different stuff.
Yeah.
Every job I've had, bro, I bump elbows with different people. They show me different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about different meals, how you cook this, how you make that.
Yeah.
What'd you do this weekend? Like, bro, me sitting at the crib, I won't get that. Me being a Section 8 receiver, like, you're not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Only people you talking to is them same people that don't leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm straight on all that.
Yeah,
That's
I
bad.
feel you, bro.
That's bad.
We ain't going backwards, bro.
No,
you
for
know
sure.
What I mean? Moving forward.
Section 8 ain't enough for me, bro.
Nah,
I want
man.
more than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The last thing, and we're gonna wrap this one up. We want to remind you guys to grind now and shine later. That's so huge and that's so profound. So many people, we call it the microwave society, and we want to get rich quick. We want it right now. Listen, if you're watching this, be willing to put in the work. Be willing to grind now in order to shine later. Because I'm trying to tell you, you got a long life. Life is a marathon. You know what I'm saying? And a marathon means it's about who endureth the longest. And so if you can embrace the fact that you're going to grind now, I often say grind 3 to 6 months so that you set yourself up for the next 1 to 2 years and you way ahead of people. It's just a little sacrifice you got to make in terms of embracing the grind. And that's what I say every day on Twitter. Embrace the grind, enjoy the climb. Because if you learn to fall in love with the process, you're going to actually love when you see the fruits of your labor on the other end of it. Anything y'all want to throw in?
That's huge, bro. Like, cause now, for me as a coach, now I have things in place. I have the football support piece. So now I finally have support within my football program.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, man, I could coach another 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Where 3 months ago, I was stressed, I was upset, frustrated, where I didn't think like that. You know what I mean? Now I'm like, man, I'm laid back. I got a shrimp guy that's a younger us, that's working hard, that's being creative, that's getting teams, and he's taking care. He's got attendance. Everything I need him to do, he's taking care of that piece. I don't have to be there, bro. I don't have to be the shrimp guy. You know what I mean? I don't have to do those things. You know what I mean? My job is stress-free, bro. So like you said, trust the process. I'm loving this process right now, bro. You know what I mean? I'm loving the process. I'm loving the day-to-day process. Kids want to get better. They showing up. I don't have to do a lot of yelling and screaming. Like I said, I'm like, dang. Like you said earlier, bro. It's like, I don't know. You just basically said, like, man, I'm getting punked, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a feeling like that. So, like, so it's all about the process.
You stayed down till you came up, though. So
Man.
Like, and now this is the fruits of that labor.
The labor, bro. You right, bro.
The Lord will always reward you. He will always tenfold what you're supposed to get.
Yes,
You just got to stay the course, understand that your breakthrough is en route, and don't throw in the towel. Like we say, don't get weary in well doing, man. Like, in due time, your time will come. In due season, your time will come. We often say, and this is my favorite, my pop said this to me years ago. He said, stay in line. Eventually, your turn will come. Don't miss the message. Guys, we're going to wrap up on that note. We want to thank you guys for hanging out with us for another episode. Please make sure you like and subscribe and join the deeper this sports community. And we'll see you next time.